Keep It Spiritual with myself, Chris Meredith. Will you hear? Give us a massive thumbs up and make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Well, in this interview, I bring you a brand new author and Hay House author at that. Of course, it is the beautiful Sakura Fox. Now, Sakura Fox is a witch, but she's bringing a new book, which is called Wishcraft, a complete beginner's guide to magical manifesting for the modern witch. How about that? And for me, it's kind of like taking the traditional witchcraft and infusing it with manifestation to create the life that we want. But in the same time, it's modern, it's new, and it's quick, because there's rituals in there where you just need one candle, a crystal, and your intent. And one thing as well with Sakura, she's absolutely beautiful, normal person just like me and you, really bringing that light to us all, which Hay House do as a publishing company as well, but bring us beautiful authors like Sakura. So here she is, enjoy, and of course, it is Keep It Spiritual, enjoy the beautiful Sakura. So welcome, Sakura, to Keep It Spiritual. How are you doing, my lovely?
I'm doing really, really well. Thank you, Chris. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. All the better for speaking to you, my lovely. Really, really am. One thing I love about you, Sakura, you know, you kind of bring in witchcraft and spellcraft into the modern world, which I just absolutely love. So it's always such a hot topic. I mean, what has been your personal journey, you know, with the craft?
Chris, I've always been obsessed with witches and witchcraft ever since I was tiny. And, you know, my parents said that I was a strange child. It sort of figures. But I probably really started to get into it in my very early 20s. So about 20 years ago now. I know how old I am now, but
you're looking glam.
And thank you very much. But at the time, you know, the internet wasn't as prevalent. So we had to use these old-fashioned things called books and libraries. So I'd go to the library and I'd get loads of books and I'd read about everything, but I just found it kind of quite overwhelming, to be honest, at times. So I sort of took what I knew and I started to practice in a different way. And it was just, I really kind of pared it down and I just made it really, really simple, and it worked. And it wasn't until much later that I discovered a book by a lady called Patricia Telesco, Wishing Well, Empowering Your Hopes and Dreams, that I realised that what I was doing actually had a name, and that was witchcraft.
And I love that. And I love, you know, we will speak about the book in a couple of minutes, but, you know, I do love how you kind of made, you know, we all know witchcraft, but wishcraft, when I first heard that title, I was like, I know witchcraft, but, you know, what is wishcraft? So, you know, do you think, first of all, you know, witchcraft, it has changed over the years?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I can't take credit for the name as such. It is an actual practice in itself, and of course, within the sort of discipline of witchcraft, you have lots of different types of witchcraft, lots of different types of witches, and again, I think certainly for beginners that can become quite overwhelming. Witchcraft is that it sort of takes the really kind of ancient practices that witches would have used, you know, hundreds, maybe thousands of years ago, that was very simple, where they would use things that they foraged and found and make spells and rituals and talismans. But then, of course, over the years, as I explain in the book, things have become kind of amalgamated, and so you've now got this kind of sprinkling of other practices that have been sort of brought into the mix. So it's brought it right up to date, and it's really modern, it's really fun, and it's really, really simple, and it's a great way to kind of get into witchcraft if it's not something that you've experienced before. But equally, witches that have been practicing for some time, it's something that they can incorporate into their practices when they just want to do something that's really pared down, really simple, because sometimes less is more. And when we have a really simple practice, we really strengthen that communication with the cosmos, and we're able to manifest the things that we're wishing for. So that's kind of in a nutshell where it comes from and how it works in a nutshell.
It's beautiful. So, of course, your brand new book, which is out now, that book is called Wishcraft, a complete beginner's guide to magical manifesting for the modern witch. You've got the book there, haven't you?
I have. Would you like to see it, Chris?
Look at that. I mean, first of all, as a book goes, how beautiful is that? They always say never judge a book by its cover, but looking at that, wow.
It's stunning, and you know what, it's beautiful inside as well. It's all really beautifully decorated. I have to say the publishers have done an absolutely amazing job. It's such a pretty, beautiful book, but actually there is meaning as well. There's meaning behind these colours. So very much with the purple, it's very much a kind of regal, powerful colour, very much associated with sort of psychic things and protection. So I've related that back to numerology. So there's even magic within the book. I try to put as much magic in the book as I possibly could for anybody that picks it up and reads it. So yeah, it's beautiful. I'm so pleased with it. I'm very lucky.
It is a beautiful book. You should be very proud. And of course, your first book. So how did the book come about?
It's quite a long story. I will do my best to try and keep it as short and sweet for you as I can. But I've been made redundant. I've been working as an area manager and I got made redundant. And I was sort of starting up my own cosmetics business. And I got introduced by a friend of mine to a book. And through them, I became aware of the publishers of Hay House. And I'd always dreamed of being a writer, always. Ever since I was a little girl, my parents bought me a pink and white toy typewriter, and I used to sit typing out copies of Meg and Mog. The witch, the haphazard witch.
I do. That's so lovely.
So I know, and I was literally sort of only a few years old, and I still remember it to this day. But essentially what happened was I went on a writing course with Hay House. But as it happened, Chris, actually something even more magical happened than that, because I never actually even ended up entering the competition. It was such a strange thing. I booked the tickets 2 days before, and I'd really been umming and ahhing about it, but something was saying to me, you really need to go, Sakura. And on the very last day of the course, I've been so nervous about getting up and asking questions and things like that. And I asked them my question, and they asked me a little bit about the book, and they said, what are you writing about? And I said, well, it's kind of witchcraft in keeping a long story short, it's witchcraft. And they sort of looked at each other, and Reed looked at Michelle, and Michelle looked at Reed, and they said, I think we'd like to take a look at that a little bit sooner. Can you take the commissioning editor's business card and send us something in? So, of course, my jaw fell to the floor, because, there was 250 people there that day, and so many people had been up and asked questions and that sort of thing. And I thought something magical is happening here. It was at that point when I knew, and I came away, and of course I was super excited, and I emailed them that day, and yeah, I guess the rest is history, Chris. But that's how the book came to be in existence.
I love it. I love hearing people's stories, because it's so inspirational, maybe for other writers out there as well, to hear the journey that it is possible. I mean, you said you come from a cosmetic area manager. I come from Selfridges. I used to work for La Mer.
Oh, fabulous.
For many years, I used to be the account manager there. But, it's really, different how we do change career, and, how we do go more of a spiritual way. And I always think it's
Absolutely.
So important to know, if they're in a world and they're kind of thinking, how do I get into that world? It is possible.
Absolutely. And of course, I was spellcasting for this as well as I was going along. So, I mean, as I say, I've kept the story short, and there is a little bit more to it. But, Wishcraft was part of the way that Wishcraft came into existence, if you like, because of course I was casting my spells as I was going along. And when I submitted my proposal, I did a very simple candle spell, the green candle and some jade crystals, and literally the day after I'd done this spell, I heard back from the publishers saying, we'd like to invite you into the offices to talk about your proposal more. So I think I know I was so excited and I just couldn't believe it, but when you sort of align, with your true purpose, or when you align with the cosmic energies, and you sort of open yourself, I think that's a real key thing, actually, Chris, is opening yourself up to those opportunities, saying yes to life. I mean, obviously, Louise Hay is a huge influence for me. And I feel very deeply connected to Louise, and she was just such a wonderful woman. Sadly, I never met her in person, but I do feel a genuinely deep connection with her. And that was one of the things that she taught, is to say yes to life. So if you are kind of on the fence and you've got a thing that you're thinking about doing, but there's things holding you back, because it holds all of us back. Like I said, it was 2 days before I booked that ticket, before I actually went. But my advice would be is, whatever you want to achieve in life, you absolutely can do it. You just need to communicate that wish to the universe, and then go ahead and take the action, and the universe will open up amazing magical opportunities for you.
No, it definitely will do. It definitely will. So, Sakura, what's the difference between witchcraft and wishcraft?
Now there's an interesting question. Okay, so of course I do go into this more in more detail in the book, but essentially, witchcraft is a way of, as I said, being able to communicate with the cosmos, building those links between yourself and the universal energies. And there isn't really a difference as such. It's just that wishcraft is a way of doing that that's very pared down, very simple. And so you are able to really focus in on what it is that you want. And when we do wishcraft rituals and spells, what we're actually doing as magical practitioners or witches is tweaking on the sort of silver strands of the spider's web that is the universal energy matrix. And so when we bring together our correspondences or our magical ingredients, things like crystals, candles, herbs, that sort of thing, all those ingredients have meanings. And when we bring them all together in a wishcraft ritual, what we're actually doing is really clearly communicating our intentions to the cosmos. And by doing things like lighting candles or just doing a ritual in a certain way and following certain steps, that's what we're doing. We're communicating to the cosmos. So witchcraft stems from witchcraft. It's, as I said to you earlier, it's a very ancient practice, and it would have been used by the cunning folk and the herbal healers and the sort of the wise women, and it's just a very early form of witchcraft. But of course these days, because we have lots of other things that we do, like working with crystals, chakras, all that kind of thing, it's become amalgamated. So we've just sort of added bits into it in that respect.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Because for me, taking a look at the book, reading it, it's kind of like you've kind of reintroduced us to, kind of what witchcraft is all about, which was kind of going in to reconnect with nature, find kind of what you've got. You kind of like, debunked that it's all got to be stressful. You've got to follow this ritual, and, you kind
Exactly.
All you need is a candle, a crystal, your intent, and then go and manifest, and wishcraft is born. I absolutely love it, Sakura. I really do.
Oh, thank you so much, Chris. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, again, you've just made a fantastic point about nature, because when, witches, what we do is we align with the natural cycles of the earth. And, that cycle, it follows through every single year: death, rebirth, growth, death, rebirth. And when you align with that natural cycle and that natural energy, you're able to kind of ride the ebb and flow of life much more easily. So, following the cycles of the moon and the sun is all an important part of witchcraft and wishcraft. And certainly one of my favourite things to do is to take a nature walk, and things that you find in nature be incorporated into your wishcraft rituals, things like pine cones and leaves and all that sort of thing. So it's really quite holistic in that sense, and it gives you that time to have a little bit of breathing space and just to enjoy life in that moment for what it is. And I think, especially this day and age, is so, so important.
It really is. I mean, straight on to my next question there. The world that we're living in, right now more than ever, it tests us, it's stressful, we can worry in at the moment, financial, pressures on everyone at the moment, job security, everything that's going on. So to have a book like, Wishcraft, that's easy. You don't need a lot of time to dedicate, and having Wishcraft, it could maybe help ease those, worries and stresses just a little bit, couldn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, to be honest with you, Chris, certainly at the moment, it's a difficult time that we're all going through. But I think there's lessons to be learned here as well. And I think sometimes, there is need for us to take a little bit of a breathing space and to reconnect with, the natural order of the universe. And I think it's very important to try and take positives from any situation. And of course, this has been a terrible, terrible situation. But the positives have been that people have been able to spend more time with their families and more time, just taking care of themselves. And I think that Wishcraft is a really good way of being able to do that, because it is simple, it is easy, it is joyful, and it's something that you can just incorporate into your everyday life, because all you really need is sort of 15 minutes to just again strengthen that communication with the natural order and the natural energies of the universe, and that helps you become more aligned within yourself. So yeah, I think I certainly hope, and that was my intention when I wrote the book, that will be something that's helpful for people in this mad modern day world, that you can really sort of kind of go back to our roots a little bit and reconnect with nature.
Well, I think timing is everything, and your book to come out now when it's come out, it couldn't be more perfect timing for everyone out there, that's, watching this and knowing that is available. And, there's no harm having a look, see if it works for you, see if you connect with it, and that's why I always think what I love, about, people like yourself, Sakura. I always think there should be millions more people, like yourself, birthing books like you've brought out to the world, because it is a magical thing.
Thank you. Absolutely. And as I said, this was in part me being, practicing the witchcraft rituals that I talk about in the book. It's about having an open mind, isn't it? And just sort of trying something new and just being open to those experiences and those opportunities and those connections, because things can just happen in such mysterious ways. But if you take a moment to center yourself by performing a witchcraft ritual and say to the universe, this is what I would like, this is how I want things to change and be different and more positive in my life. The universe is always listening, but the most important thing once you've done a witchcraft ritual is to follow up with that action. Because if I'd have done my ritual for sort of being successful at writing a book, but I hadn't gone along to that writing course, that opportunity wouldn't have presented itself to me. So it is really important. And with each of the rituals as well, I include like a little action at the bottom, and they're just small things, but it sets that magic in motion, and it tells the universe that I am serious about this wish, and I'm serious about helping myself to get what I want as well. And the universe will absolutely support you in doing that.
And that's one thing, with the book as well, because, it is a witchcraft book, but wishcraft, but you've put your personality, there's a bit of tongue-in-cheek comedy in there as well. That's not something you see every day in a book. It's usually, this is just what it is, that's that, off you trot. But you've really put yourself into the book, which I love.
At this point in time that we're in at the moment, we need a little bit of a laugh. We need a little bit of, lightheartedness. And that was absolutely my goal when I wrote the book, because I came very much from my own experience. And being a sort of a mom that, I've always been a working mom, and I understand the experiences that a lot of people like myself are going through. And I think when you can kind of recognize that and sort of have a little bit of a giggle about it, you can relax about things, but also create those connections with people. And that was one of the most important things for me when I wrote Wishcraft, was to be able to reach out to people and connect with them and actually say, look, you can do this. you can achieve anything that you want to achieve. I used to deliver pizzas. I used to be a pizza delivery driver. Genuinely, and I was, as I said, I was made redundant, but when you start to realign and reconnect, think magical things can happen. So yeah, there is a few sort of little kind of tongue-in-cheek little bits in there that I hope do make people laugh, because the happier you are, the more joyful you are. It's law of attraction, isn't it? It's what manifesting is all about. The higher your vibration is, the more joy and laughter and wonderful things that you're going to bring towards yourself. So if I can give people a giggle in there as well, even better.
And you have, definitely, in spades. So, for yourself, Sakura, what does passing, the power of Wishcraft onto new readers, what does that mean to you?
It just means the world to me, because I've learned so much of so many wonderful people through my life. And, life is ups and downs. You never kind of have just a straight run through life. And, I've had my fair share of ups and downs as well. But if I can connect with and support other people, other women particularly, that are going through similar things, and kind of give people that sort of pat on the back and be a little bit of a cheerleader and say, look, there is a way that you can make magic happen in your life. Just try this, have an open mind and try, and celebrate their successes with them as well. I would absolutely love to hear about the successes that people have had with Wishcraft, because that would just absolutely, I couldn't even put that into words, Chris. It would be, wonderful to know that this is helping people. That's the main aim. It's to give people the opportunity to try something new, make positive changes in their life. And that for me is just a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I'm incredibly grateful actually to have the opportunity to try and do that, to help other people lead a happier life with magic and with Wishcraft.
Which is so beautiful as well. And one way, you can do that, you're launching the Wishcraft Academy very soon as well, aren't you?
Absolutely. So at the moment, it's still sort of, I'm working behind the scenes, because obviously, of course, the important thing was to get the book out, and we didn't have much time to do that as books go. So I'm working behind the scenes at the moment on the website. My aim is absolutely to create a community of women, of wickedly successful women. It's my Wishcraft Academy for wickedly successful women. And I think actually on that point, it's worth just saying here that success is subjective, isn't it? It's success for me is different for, success for you and the next person. And so I don't want people to think that success is necessarily going and publishing a book, or, having $1 million business. Success is your everyday success. Success is totally about you. So if that success today was getting the kids to school on time and, getting a load of washing on because you're super, super busy, and being on time for work, celebrate those successes. I want to celebrate those successes with you. That's what the Wishcraft Academy is all about. I probably shouldn't say this, but sometimes we have to celebrate, just getting out of bed and putting a bra on at this point in time. But perhaps not you, Chris, but I do.
Well, you never know. That's what day it is.
You never know. Genuinely, things are really, really difficult at the moment, and just doing those daily things, we need to celebrate ourselves for that. So the Wishcraft Academy is all about, it's learning how to use wishcraft in a way that's going to be really positive in your everyday life. It's very importantly being able to connect with others and having a really positive, happy, vibrant and joyful community where people can ask questions and not feel afraid to do that, because that's something else that I've noticed. Sometimes getting that information can be quite scary, and I want to get rid of that completely. So I want to have a really lovely community where everybody will help each other out. And there's going to be lots of other bits and pieces going on in there as well that's going to be really helpful for people. So I will tell people more about that as things progress. But it's super exciting. I'm super excited about it.
Beautiful, beautiful, Sakura. Well, I'll put everything, in the description below for people to find you, to get your book, and of course, when the Academy launches, that'll be there as well. Well, from myself, I've got to say a massive thank you for being on Keep It Spiritual. It's such a
Thank you
pleasure.
so much, Chris. Thank you. The pleasure has been all mine, I promise you. Thank you. I really appreciate you having me on.
No, you're very welcome. Of course, the book is out now. So anyone, that's watching this, go and get it. Get it on Amazon as well. There it is. Beautiful. You should be very proud. And I've got to say, I don't know if you're anyone's first interviewer before. So thank you for that privilege.
Yeah, absolutely. So I hope I did okay, because I was super nervous. I'm just going to put that out there.
You did amazing. I'm sure everyone will agree. Well, thank you so much, darling. Have a good day. We'll speak soon.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you. Take care.
There we are. That was the beautiful Sakura Fox right there. Brand new book, which is all about witchcraft. Are you going to do it? Maybe you've already started doing it. Maybe you've already got the book. Let me know in the description below as well. And of course, if you want to know anything about the beautiful Sakura Fox, you want to get the book, you want to join her beautiful school that she's going to be launching soon, or of course, anything about her, I'll put everything in the description below. And of course, thank you so much as well for watching Keep It Spiritual. Really hope you enjoy it. Share this out with your friends and your family. The more people see it, the better. And of course, as well, much love and light from myself to yourself. And anything that you want to know about me, remember, I've got my website, which is www.chrismeredith.com. I do angel card readings. Of course, I'm going to start doing my angelic Reiki as well, hopefully in Manchester, face to face, which is going to be amazing. And of course, I work with the angels every single day, so check out some other videos. Thank you for stopping by. Keep safe, love and light. I'll see you later.